Hey, to whoever may need this nugget of encouragement, things will be alright, so quit your worrying. I get it, the odds seem stacked back against the wall, but even consider it such, know you'll stand tall. Sat and watch from the sidelines one too many times. Wicked games we play make me wanna lose my mind. Found solitude knowing it'll be over soon. Ever need a boost, count on me for the 1-2. Trouble don't last when the tough get going. Baby, all we do is win, so show me my opponent. Adversity, doubt, stress, could care less, cause how we handle those like an S on our chest. Super proud of how we held it down on the way up. Can't wait for our day to ball, this is a layup. Nobody ever said this would be easy, but trust when I say that you got it. I know you've been looking for a breakthrough, trying our best to make do. Every day is something new, but change gon' come, oh yes it's true. Brighter days are straight ahead. Follow me, won't be.
And let me start from the beginning. I'm not an attorney. I don't have a license to practice law. I do not practice law. What I've done is study the law and tell people what I've learned, how I gather the information. So I don't give any information as advice to apply to your specific case, but it's general information regarding the law and lawful principles, which, by the way, do belong to the people. To use any information obtained for education or edification only. And the reason I say that is because I want nothing I say to be construed to be legal advice. If you feel you need legal advice, I'd highly encourage you to hire a licensed and hopefully competent attorney and be legally advised. And with that being said, if you wish to continue the discussion or participation, more power to you. But I didn't come into this with an attorney. I didn't come into this with understanding. Yes, since I first started this, and excuse my hat, I have worked with attorneys, and I have nothing disparaging to say about attorneys. I think also part of one of the things I could probably help people do is be a better client for attorneys if you do get an attorney. As you see, our new slogan is not really new. I've always been straight talk with no gimmicks. I'm not a gimmick. You can go see what I've done inside the courtrooms, and you can work to get the same kind of results if you want them. And sorry, I'm trying to straighten my VA hat, my vet hat. But you have to put in your own work. It's just not going to happen the way that it's been spread across so much of the internet with this misinformation and disinformation. I think that most people could have a very good outcome if they put in the right work. I truly believe this, and I might be a little myopic when I say that, but I just think that a lot of guys could get a little bit further if they started taking a much more, not just guys, women too, people take a much more progressive, and when I say progressive, meaning with the information approach to things. Otherwise, you're not going to get it. So, again, and I got Heavy calling me right now in the middle of the show, but what's going on, Heavy? They can't hear you, but what's good? Yeah, it's barbershop talk. I was talking to them about, let me take you off there. Maybe they'll pick you up through the speaker. We were talking about how our entrepreneurs this weekend got on me about, and when they were saying they kept the doors open, and you've been, I've known Heavy, the Horsemen have been riding for 35 strong years. And right. You were on me about, as you do often, about my consternation about in today's show, the hood. What does the hood owe the hood? And about why this unique service that I provide doesn't seem to resonate. But you can go ahead and introduce everybody. I was telling them about checking out the last episode of Chop Shop, but give them a little background on Chop Shop while I put this thing up, because I almost didn't do the show today.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I'll go back. Me and Big Bro go back, like I say, 1990. We started actually doing the podcast through Blog Talk back in 2015, and stayed the grind, got with some good people that really supported our vision. So now we went from the over the phone to now doing live on the studio. We've been doing that for the last probably say 3 years, actually 4 years. But now we set up, we rolling real good now. But I do believe what he spoke about, like when you say what the hood owe the hood nothing. And I think that's the thing that we have to get out of, is because a lot of times if there's someone does achieve success, a lot of people feel they're old, that, you move on and, you got to help me. You got to look out for me, which is nothing wrong with helping your people. But what are you doing to help yourself? I just can't give you money just to give it to you. Do you have a vision? You know, you got a plan. What are you trying to do? And you go like that. But and I struggle with him because I let him know that the service that you offer is very unique. But a lot of people will say, well, somebody else could do it. And they do it for this and do it for that. Somebody in the hood do it for this, this, and this. But at the end of the day, it goes back to you get what you pay for. So if you paying $60 to $100, you're gonna get $600 worth of service. How far do you expect that to take you on a child support case? Not that far. So, you know, I just tell people, you know, we pay for what we want in life. When we go get the new Jordan when they come out, we go to these nice upscale restaurants, you know, we gamble on the Hard Rock app, we pay for what we want. And, you know, it's mind-boggling me that, you know, you would play with your freedom on something that could be resolved in such a real easy, you know, it's an easy fix. Just ask for the help, follow, you know, the plan that's been implemented, and then most important, pay the debt that you owe. But, you know.
I appreciate it. So we have, you know, tell them how close are we to our 100th episode, by the way, because I want people to join in. They get a chance to check out our 100th episode.
If everything goes according to script, no downtime, it'll be March 31st, because this episode coming up this week is going to be episode number 90. So it's 10 more Mondays from this Monday coming up.
Okay. Episode, man, it's going almost 100, and we've managed to give them a couple of breaks in between. So I'm looking forward to it.
We'll take a break the week after, so I know that's a lot to go back to back to back to back. So we do that, then we pick back up on April. The plan is to go back April 14th.
April 14th.
Right around time baseball, Final Four be over with draft. People get ready for the draft. So, but yeah.
Okay, it's all good. I appreciate you stopping by. I'm gonna try to get these last couple of minutes. So naturally, I should say naturally. I did start a little late today, as I was having conversations with other people and myself about continuing forward in this manner, because you know I have a lot going on, and it's all good. I want everybody to win, but everybody, in order to win, they have to be willing to participate in the race. And what I don't want to do is be an obstruction to their moving forward at any point in time.
Absolutely.
So
agreed.
So I want
to thank everybody that's listening, man. You know, keep rocking with my brother. My brother got a lot of good stuff going, man. We do a lot of good stuff in the community. He's a big part in what we do. So I thank y'all for these 5-6 minutes y'all gave me. You know, peace, prosperity, all of y'all, man. I'll holler at you later on there, bro.
All right, peace.
All right, yes, sir.
Yeah. So. And again, what I don't want to do is, now we do have a solicitation campaign that we've started, and if anybody finds the information useful, please feel free to donate to the show to keep what we have going, so we can get more people some of the results that I managed to get along the way, and I'm very grateful for what I've been able to accomplish. And you can go in and see what I talk about on any of the episodes, whether it's child support, if it's dealing with driver license or whatever it could be. You can go in, you can find that information on my Dropbox, which is available by link. And I think I hope I upgraded the link. I'll put the link in to the in my bio. But if you need it, just contact me, gdnapsc@gmail.com, and it'll pop up for you. But the other side of all this is that when people reach out to me, I do answer the phone. So the number you see on the website, which is 813-570-9617, is my phone number. I'll answer it until I move forward from doing this and start doing other things. But so long as I'm doing this, I'll make sure I answer the phone, and I try my best to help more people out. What's going on, Daylay? And I'm sorry for being delayed in coming on. We can see you. What's going on, man?
Not much. I was on the YouTube for some reason, but I'm here now.
Okay, cool. I was telling the people I was going to talk. I don't know if you saw the episode link about, what does the hood owe the hood, and let's have a conversation about it. So I got a clip. I think I sent it to you, right? Did I send you what was sent to me about helping each and everybody and liberating the hood? Uh-oh. Hopefully he's not. Okay, I'm not. I don't see him now. So I'm starting now. People are starting to come in. I don't know. There you go. There you go. My bad.
Yeah, no, I muted myself, but yeah, no, I definitely saw that. You did send me that, and obviously that person was using some resources that I would probably want to advise, but you can't help everybody, conversation we always had. And I think I was listening to the guy before that, where it's like everyone's trying to always get a bargain, like, oh, somebody else could do it cheaper. But it's like, when it's that important to your livelihood, and when we say that for child support, I don't think people understand it, because it might not start out like, oh, you're just paying money per month. But once the enforcement and all that kicks in, now we're really talking about your livelihood, what you do for work, how you sustain yourself and things like that. And when those kind of things are at stake, you might want to do some due diligence into who's helping you, and at least making sure that they've done it before and they've done it properly, to make sure that your case doesn't end up in a bad situation, But you can't help everybody. Some people got, like I told you, we were talking about yesterday, kids got to fall before they learn how to walk, Hopefully you just don't fall to the point where you break your head, but, but you still got to fall at some point, so.
I was feeling a little frustrated in the within the process, and I'm thinking to myself, well, maybe I shouldn't feel that way about it, because I think because of the uniqueness of what happens or what I do, it's what probably has people the way that they are when it comes to approaching me for my service, because I don't offer them one of those pie in the sky remedies. That makes sense to you.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, I understand how you feel that way, because even as much as you come off as like, I don't like you niggas, you actually do care. I know you
I don't like y'all, but I do care.
I know. And that's what I said. As much as you come off as I don't like y'all, but I know I get, like, since the first day we talked, like, I call you like, hey, you picked up. Like, yeah, it's my phone, motherfucker. What'd you expect? Even though that came up brazen and harsh, I'm like, okay, I know this person cares. I can detect that, So it's okay to feel that way. It's just that, I mean, at least maybe because I'm a math guy, I always looking from the standpoint is like, you can't, like, even Tesla ain't got 100% of all the population,
Right.
You can't get everybody. There's some people that's gonna
and don't want it.
I think we were talking about, like, everyone can't be a doctor. Someone
Right.
gotta cut the lawn. Someone gotta cook the food. Someone gotta be a patient.
Right.
So,
and some doctors become patients.
That's very true. Yep, very true. So, I mean, that's the way life is, and it's sad, but the people who are here. As many shows as I've been to, I think we've seen the same people, basically become a community at this point.
Right.
For me. So,
and that part is not so much the issue. I guess if you look at what I sent you, it's that part that gets me. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, I know child support is a major topic that comes up on this program for the most part. Although we know that I've had cases that involve things other than child support. In fact, I put out there recently on some of these shorts, you can see this issue I have with not with the VA necessarily, but because people at the VA didn't fulfill their obligation and responsibilities to me. And I found other veterans, I filed a lawsuit with that. But it's like, I had to say, dang, what people are saying, the hood. And like my man, the late great Mr. X said, where the hood at? I often wonder that, where is the hood when it comes to the hood looking out for the hood? Where's the community when it comes to looking out for the community?
right.
I think that somebody said something to me today that kind of, it resonated with me, but it struck me as, pretty unique for the most part. And they said, Greg, I'm gonna be honest with you. The way that you come across could be intimidating, and I'm thinking, what do you mean? Me on the show or me in the courtroom? And he said, well, the show is just the show. And I'm paraphrasing him. He said, but the courtroom, most guys are going to say, I can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
So as a person who's been a client or what have you, how would you assess what he said to me? And do you agree?
No, I don't agree, because I think there's two parts of it. You're speaking from a standpoint, or not just speaking, the videos and the stuff you put out lends itself to for someone to believe that you're somewhat of an expert in at least your cases, meaning like you've done a certain level of things and accomplished things that you talked about, right? And then from the other aspect, there's the other aspect of the community itself, and what level do you gauge how the community itself is policing itself, right? Like I'll give you an example. When I lived in Nigeria, in Africa, if I did something bad in school, my neighbors would beat me on the way home. And if I got home,
correct you, but go ahead.
Well, correct. You can call it corrected, but we actually did get whoopings in school. They beat you. Oh yeah, no, I got a beating. The teacher beat me in school.
Right back to the same.
Yeah, we actually did beatings in Africa. So they beat me. The teacher beat me in school. The neighbors beat me on the way home, and then my parents would beat me when I get home because I disgraced the family. Right. So it wasn't a thing where it's like here, where it's like, the communities that's joined into like, well, why'd you touch my kid? It's like, no. Your kid did something bad, and the community itself polices itself and say, okay, look, we have a standard, and we need to keep that standard because it's good for everyone, right? Now, the thing that you sent me the other day, where it's like someone in the community is actually giving out misinformation, like intentionally doing this, and then of course, some people have come to you. We talked about where it's like, if you don't know, it's one thing, right? But then now someone is saying like, hey, look, you might not want to go to court with this information, but then they blow you off like, okay, no, this guy's cheaper and he's telling me this. And it's like, okay, well, I can't force you to, use information or learn the right thing, so you can't say, and I'm saying this again, you can't save everyone if the community is actually putting all this out there, so there's two aspects of it. One, you've done something, you have expertise in it. And then two, the community in itself is not just a one person thing. Way I look at it.
Okay. Anybody else who wants to speak? I don't know. What do they press if they're on the phone? They want to raise their hand or whatever.
You just gotta tap the screen, hit the reaction, and then it should be you see a raised hand.
Okay, there we go. Appreciate it. So he said,
"Yo, what's going on? What's going on, everybody?" Yeah, I do have something to say about that, but I honestly think that, yeah, it is some people that has it in their head with the bad information that was provided. Because I was a victim of it before I ran across your page. I for sure was a victim of it, but just by filing the paperwork and it was getting broken down on a administrative level and a judicial level as well. It was no success in it. So I just really had to go back to the drawing board, so to speak, and just look up statutes that was in my state and where I stated and see how it applied, if it even applied. So,
but I guess the question would be, even to you, is the presentation do you find what I do to be intimidating? Because I'm trying to figure out, what does the hood owe the hood? What does the community owe the community when it comes to, like, I thought YouTube was one of the larger platforms that are out here. I know probably Instagram probably have more and whatever. I don't know, but the information is out there.
Yeah.
My question is, what is it that keeps people from, well, I don't even care what keeps it from coming here, but I'm saying, is there some intimidation factor in what I present that probably keeps people from coming back?
Yeah, I mean, you know, at this point in time, they believe it to be true. So they just have to go in there and actually file it and learn firsthand experience that it's not. Unfortunately, you got some people that's just stubborn like that, as well as you know, they're going. I can only speak for myself. I know when the information was provided to me, that was, you know, false information. The only thing that I basically did, I thought it was the Bible. I thought it was the Holy Grail, and if I ever ran into a bind, I could just present that paperwork, and it'll kind of get them to back off a little bit. I did find out later that it was, you know, not real. So, or it didn't have any legal standings. And as well, it didn't state a claim. I actually seen a couple of paperwork that was filed like that, and they took it to the appellate courts, and it was, you know, ridiculed at that point in time just by doing case law search within my state. But yeah, other than that, I would just probably say that they really just gotta unlearn what they learned and relearn, and apply their actual specific issues that they have to their case. That's basically the only thing.
Okay, so within that commentary, and by the way, welcome everybody who's happens to be here. Just raise your hand, or you say tap the screen if you want to, if you have a comment or what have you. But so I can let you in. I guess some of us know, and granted, the audience is a lot wider than just what some of us would consider the hood. Those who look like me, the audience includes everybody. But too often, we're as a community, I'll say this: we do a lot of boasting. We're real loud when it comes to doing certain things. But when it comes to representation like this, it's like we shy away from going in and putting in front of the people who take advantage of us the same energy that we may show outside of these forums. And I'm not saying go in there and act a fool. And hopefully nobody thinks that what I do has me in there acting a fool. Now, I was told today that it's kind of intimidating. I come across as Daily called me an expert, which, you know, I don't know if the confidence makes me an expert, but, you know, I am 56 years old. You know, I have been in the military. I've been around the world. I was born into a military family. I worked in the school system, the education system, I should say. I wasn't a janitor or anything, if there's anything wrong with being a janitor. I was a union steward for the Teamsters. I've been to college. So I don't know what one would expect of somebody that way. So, you know, what's going on, Matrix? Thanks for joining the show. This is your first time or what have you. I think you got to unmute yourself. How do they unmute themselves?
If they hit the reaction to raise their hand and then you unmute them, it should pop up on their screen to hit unmute.
Oh, he's unmuted now. What's going on, Matrix? Welcome to the show.
Hey, what's up, man? Hey, yes, you are very intimidating. So I'm just let everybody know that. I don't care what none of them say. What I saw is very intimidating. To see the confidence that you had, especially people that are green or novice to this. Ain't nobody trying to get in the courtroom and do that. The way that, and it's nothing against you. It's just the confidence that you have, the wisdom that you have, the experience. It can be intimidating for somebody to want to come behind that. It's almost like a performer. You're going behind DMX. You're like, look, man, I'm good, but I'm not going behind DMX. You crazy? Right. It's almost like something like that. When they see you, like, nah, bro, I can't. I'd rather pay you.
Okay, but what about the fact that they can't pay me to go in for them? You might be able to pay me for insight, not legal advice, of course, but insight. You may be able to pay me to help you draft a document. But at the end of the day, you have to walk in there to win. And we're talking about the hood now. You know, I know, and you can say, I don't know anything. You know plenty of BA, but I'm saying, how do I get across that? Or is it for me to get across to them that this is, like my commentary says, I'm not a gimmick. This is not, you know, I'm not going to tell you something that I wouldn't be willing to go in and do myself, or that I haven't at least attempted myself in some respects. So help me understand, Matrix, you know, what could I possibly do? I know you said I'm intimidated, but what could I possibly do to help people understand that this is just the only way that I know how to do it?
There's really nothing you can do. You have to already know going in the game that you're only going to reach 5%. 95% won't get it, which hurts to know that you're only going to get 5%, but you're only going to get 5%. You just have to know that. The wisdom that you have, everybody needs, but some of this information is not made for everybody. You're not going to be able to save everybody. I mean, just like poor people. I remember in the Bible, Jesus said, "There's always going to be poor among you." I mean, you're just not going to be able to help everybody, even though you want to. The stuff that you have, if people can just grasp it, or if they don't have the funds to get it, they know how to go and get the latest X, Y, and Z, or to go to these Beyonce concerts and all that little stuff like that. If they want it done, they'll pay for it. Now, you can always show them what the real price is. Let's say they go to somebody else and they look, okay, this dude, let's just say, just throwing a number out there. Basic case costs you $5,000, $10,000, depending on the issue. Well, this is what I can help you with for this fee, but I'm going to walk you through it. Now, if you don't want to walk, I'm not going to be in the courtroom with you. But so you have to take this serious, because if you don't listen to what I'm saying, it's your life on the line. I'm going home. I'm going to kiss my kids. I'm going to watch the game when they come on. But this is your life. You have to take this serious. Now, if you don't want to take it serious, don't complain to me when it don't go right.
Cool. Appreciate that. I had somebody that popped in. I just lost him.
I had a quick question for Matrix, because he said you're intimidating. Did you mean like as far as the knowledge that he displays he has, or Greg as a person is intimidating?
No, the intimidating part is him in action. When you look at the clips and you see how it's almost like talking to like chastising your kids. That's how he was presenting himself in the courtroom.
Right.
Because it's easy for him, because that's what he do.
Yeah, that's what I was asking, because you can see that he's intimidating because he knows something. And I think the one aspect we've always talked about is sometimes cats don't want to do the work to have that kind of knowledge, right? Like anybody could go in there and start yelling some random ish. But when you see him in court, you can see it's like a controlled aggression, right? Like, okay, now he's not just yelling, he's yelling, and you can see by the response he's getting, nobody's saying, hey, you out of line, they checking him or anything like that, right? And I think that's a question to ask, where it's like, are they intimidated by the knowledge? Because for me, if I see a rich man talking about finances, I want to go sit down and listen, right? Now, if I see a video like someone great in court, because the thing that's actually how I got on here. I saw a video of him talking shit to the hearing officer. I'm like, wait a minute, that's what I'm supposed to be doing, and I need to go there.
I wasn't talking ish, by the way. I was representing my point. But go ahead.
You want to do your disclaimer for?
Yeah, I don't say anything disparaging in the attorneys, and the views and opinions expressed do not necessarily represent Barbershop Talk, GD Napsy, or any of its affiliates. But go ahead.
Right. So because I got resources and I had attorneys, and they didn't even talk shit like that. They didn't even talk about we need to beg this, and I'm like, beg? What the hell am I begging for? You know? So my thing is like, if he's intimidating because of the knowledge and skills he displays, I would think that would attract more people, right?
I would say it attract more people if that's what if they want to get into the field, then yes. Right. But if they just need them for like a service, then they're not doing that. They're not doing it. It's not gonna happen. Okay. You're not. You can watch a plumber at work, and you be like, you know what? I like that. I want to be a plumber. I want to do what you do. It's totally different when you just need your sink done one time, and the plumber telling you how to do it. You're like, nah, bro, I'm not gonna do that, because if I mess it up, the wife gonna be on me. No, right. I need to pay you to get it done, because that's what you're good at. I don't want to be looking at YouTube. I don't want to be listening to you, because mind you, while you're in the courtroom, you have emotional ties to this case. Sometimes
Right.
it's intimidating
Right.
when you have the state versus you, or some kind of conglomerate versus you,
Right.
and you try to remember everything Greg told you, but your heart beating fast, and they throw you a curveball. You don't know how to respond because you didn't practice this. Now, what do? When Greg does it, I actually liked watching it. I was like, man, that's what I'm talking about. If I wanted to be a lawyer, I'd be blowing his phone up all the time because I see the knowledge that he has. It's just that I ain't trying to be no lawyer, and I'm not trying to go in the courtroom. I'd rather pay him to get the job done. But I'm just
Yeah.
saying, if somebody wanted to just have him like a one-off or something like that, ain't nobody trying to do what Greg doing. That was crazy watching him in the courtroom. I was like, man, I loved it. I loved it. But
Right.
ain't nobody trying to do that right now.
Well, I think that's the point, because look, this is not a case where you could call expertise in, and I'm using myself as an example because look, when I went through the process and I had attorneys, I paid over damn near close to $40K for attorneys, right? At the end of the day, when they get that order out, that attorney name ain't on the order. It's me. It's me that's gonna like. Okay, so I had one case where the attorney was like, "Oh, the child support is just $370. It's not that much money." That was 3 years ago. If that amount is now about 14 grand I paid, that attorney, I don't know what that attorney's doing right now. She's probably kicking it in Florida. So even if you use Greg's services to give your documentation, you still got to go in there and defend that documentation. Now, if you don't know what's on that documentation, then you might as well just throw the documentation in the air. So if you're dealing, I know Greg touches a whole bunch of different type of court cases, but if you're dealing with child support, even if you get an attorney, you still have to know your case and know where it's going and how it's going. Because if you think you're just going to sit back and someone going to drive you to the end zone, we got a saying over here, you might end up in a resort. And it ain't the 5-star kind of resort.
Hold on a second. I want to see if I think he wants to come in. DB, are you trying to come in, or you just was I thought I saw your hand for a second there. I don't know if he's coming in.
What's up, G?
Oh, what's going on, man?
Not a whole lot, man. Yeah, I was just listening, bro. Like, I don't know. I think for me, and I'm gonna speak from experience, right? I think when I watch your videos and I see how you, one, you're well informed, and two, it's a backstory by you being well informed. You know what I'm saying? It didn't just come overnight. It took some practice, and like you always said, you got knocked down sometimes, but you got right back up and got back in the game. And I think for me, and looking at how you control the situation, like Dele say, that I forgot what he called it, but the simple fact is, like, in those settings, man, a lot of them people are buddy. You know what I mean? And you ain't going in there on no buddy shit, because you going in there fighting for your life and what's right. And when they don't do what's right, you hold them accountable. Period. And that's what it boils down to. You know what I mean? And that's what I see whenever I watch you those videos of you in the hearing. You know what I mean? Like, yo, you were wrong. The law is this, and that's what we stand on. Point blank, period. It's no buddy. It's not laughing and talking, because I've been in situations where literally, I go in the courtroom and the fucking prosecutor and the public defender are laughing, talking about the football game last night. But here I am, scared for my life, about to go to prison. You know what I'm saying? So it's no gimmicks, like you said. It's no gimmicks for you. Like, your skin in the game is totally different from their skin in the game. So I don't think you come off as intimidating. You stand on your square and you hold the motherfucker's foot to the fire. Period.
So let me ask you this, DB, because we've known each other for a while. You can tell everybody where you're from as well. And this is crazy. It's going to be real crazy about this call, but tell everybody where you're from.
South Cat.
Okay, so other than now we have Matrix on. Most of the people here are not from Florida. And no one here is actually, Chris, you're coming back to BA. No one here is actually from Tampa except me. And y'all heard Heavy. Go ahead, BA. You got to unmute BA.
What's up, guys? I didn't say that you gave me the blessings there, but I think it's in what the gentleman that just spoke said. I mean, some of you know from being here for a while what I do, and I can definitely correlate to what he just said. And what I did today, I do it because of something that happened to me, where I saw what he saw, and I try to remind myself every time I'm in the courtroom and somebody's in handcuffs in there, how it feels to be on that side and somebody saying, "Hey, how many drinks did you have at the party that we had the other day?" and so on. And I'm like, man, that's or joking around and making making comments that are out of line when you're there. So that's the one thing. But as far as the other gentleman that was talking about the curveball and stuff, I mean, from an athlete's perspective, especially baseball, when you get a curveball, you have two options. You either sit back on it and drive it to the opposite field, or you spit on it because you recognize that it's a curveball that looks like a good pitch and is gonna drop out of the zone. So in talking to you, we always correlate to sports and how you have to wait for your pitch or you have to wait for your opportunity. And whenever they throw you those distractors, as Daly calls them, you have to let them go. So this is one of those situations. And I also understand the analogy of the plumbing. Sometimes you don't want to deal with stuff. Unfortunately, I'm the other guy. I was just messing with that trimmer here that fell apart on me, and I'm like, how am I going to figure this out? And it got figured out. So you just got to, use your resources, go on your phone, and Greg been saying it for what? 2 months now. Use me. I'm your resource. I'm your greatest resource. So some of the stuff are unfortunately not going to get solved, especially by asking questions to who, because as you say, why go ask the devil how to save your soul? And I'm seeing it firsthand. I mean, you call these people and nobody has an answer about anything. I'm like, where do you guys even work? You don't know anything. So if you want results, you have to be able to, I know it's hard because I'm going through it and learning, where do I start? What do I look at? But you have to be willing to put the time into it.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And by the way, BA, I want to say this also for people out here. You say sit back on it, lay back. You started using jargon that people who aren't familiar with baseball may not understand and may kind of go through it. And that could be intimidating when you say lay back, but also if you say you sit back, you lay back and wait for it. That would come through repetition. You understand how to work through that kind of situation. But just to put that out to people, all the thing I've done is try to show people essentially a kind of a different language. It's not, I had to learn it too. Because, when y'all hear me say I had to calibrate, because don't forget that I still am what I am too. There's plenty of times where my first thought is to want to do something to somebody or to say something to somebody, but that's not the environment that's not the enviament for Squid.
What I meant to say,
Squid doesn't belong inside of a courtroom. Greg or Chagret does, or Greg does. Because Squid might say, motherfucker, who you talking to? And then it all goes left. Then you get to hear what Daly said. Well, you're yelling treason and a whole lot of other things. Right? They're dragging you out the courtroom.
Well, what I meant, where I was gonna go with that was, what I mean by staying back. So when you get a breaking pitch or an off pitch of any kind, what the pitcher is intending for you to do is to what we call get ahead of yourself or be off balance. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna swing early. You're gonna hit that little dribbler ground ball to third base and hit into a double play. If you stay back, you wait for that ball to get closer to you, or you can hit it at a power position. And where the practice in the court situation comes into is the practice, right? So where you practice with that curveball is you go to what is called a tee, and you put that tee down in your basement or whatever you practice, and you put it deep in the zone where you're supposed to hit it. And again, this sounds like this is me just talking a bunch of baseball stuff that a lot of people are not going to relate to, but it all comes back into what you said, the repetition and the practice. Because I have coaches. The guy that I played collegiate baseball for before I got to college fixed my swing in a way that was one simple thing and he was my coach, but he couldn't do that for me. When I step in the batter's box, and I got to think about what did Jared tell me. You know, he had this thing what it was called ass or tits. What do you like? Do you like ass or you like tits? You can't like both when you come to the plate. So, you know, you have that approach, and you gotta just know. Again, he can teach you, or Greg can teach you and tell you this is what you need. But again, when you get up to the game, he's not taking the shot for you. He's not running the route for you. He's not making the swings for you.
Cool, appreciate it. Chris, are you out there somewhere? I thought so, Chris.
Yeah, I'm here. I did want to just first and foremost say thank you, but you know, I know you may feel like you may be intimidated court that actually is confidence, and I know.
I don't think
I'm going to a court hearing right now, so
I don't think I'm intimidating at all. I just think that I am who I am. I am 56, and I'm somebody's grandfather. So I've been all over the world, so I don't know how else to speak other than as a man. Just who I am.
Yeah.
You hit the court.
And I like that. But it also puts confidence within us. Like, from when I seen you do that, that was like, yeah, I need to know my shit enough to even know that. Like, I think everything is coming from basically insecurities because you know you don't know the information, and how they present it to you is like, we got you, motherfuckers. Like, it ain't no way out of this. And it does seem like that. It still does right now for me anyway. I can speak, but I'm just pushing forward like I've been doing. Whether it was with the paperwork, but until I seen you do what you did on YouTube, it gave me inspiration to be like, yeah, okay. I know I can't probably do it today or tomorrow, but eventually I'm going to be nice enough to know enough and do enough researching and get enough study up to where I can be just as confident as that. And, you know, some people don't have that amount of time, but like how you say, you can't win if you don't go in. So I'm going in. I'm actually going in today. So I'm going in right now.
Take care of your business. Make sure you have everything noted for record, and not this legal. This is not legal advice. If it were me, I'd ensure that I preserve all my objections, so that every time I go to court, I prepare to go to court the next time, which is preparing for the appeals process. I know you're doing.
Yeah, I think this one is just like they can serve her properly. So I gotta just go in there and basically get her served.
All right, well, cool. Handle it. Let us know how it went. Appreciate you. JC, what's good, man? Long time no hear.
I know, right, man? I've been getting it in. Every time I've been trying to catch the video, I've been just leaving court or just over here handling something new. But man, I caught the tail end of what's been going on, and I guess I don't even know what the question was, but I guess my opinion to it is, man, you got to get your feet wet, man. Y'all got to get out here and stand on business, like filing these motions and actually putting it. Oh, as far as intimidation, I don't think. As far as intimidation, I don't think Nan Judge is intimidated by any of us, nor Greg. It's just the fact that he has that confidence enough to maybe instill confidence into us, because I sure got confidence from him. Like, man, I know this is possible. I know that this motion to vacate go get me in front of this judge, and if it don't go a certain way, then I know to get prepared to appeal it. Like, man, I got appeals in. I done had mediations for split custody. I done had vacates get denied and prepared to appeal. And I got something that was different that I want to mention to you. Like, when I appealed here up in the Tallahassee region, they expedited my case because it involved the substantial interest of a child. So I thought that was interesting, but I didn't stay on top of that because this was the first appeal I put in, and I understand that I didn't put in a motion first. I didn't take it to the lower tribunal to attack it, which I did with the vacate
process. Then,
say it again.
They're saying,
yeah, I didn't.
Right. Process, right?
I didn't do the process the right way, but they didn't even deny. They didn't deny it. They just said I need to show cause of why this should be heard, and it's been past the 30 days. See, I just originally appealed the order, but I did go into court with the vacate. He denied it for whatever reasons. I played and didn't do the transcript part, but that ain't even why he denied it per se. But I am appealing that. So, I mean, it's just, I feel like getting your feet wet, man. I don't think that you're intimidated. I think you give us confidence to know that this can really be done. Like, you can go in there, you can file for split custody, you can file to get your child support changed, you can appeal certain things that ain't done properly. Like, this the real deal. And I mean, I get treated differently. I feel like they talk to me differently, knowing certain words to say, knowing how to have my exhibits on file. Like, look, we can go over here to exhibit B, showing this or show that. Like, man, it's just, it carries a different weight. That's my opinion. As far as intimidating, I don't think they're intimidated by none of us, because they go do what they do. They go deny and see if you really go appeal it. They'll deny that and see if you really go appeal that. Go ahead, Greg.
It wasn't that part. It was whether or not people have the confidence to go in and take the risk. But hold on, I want to show everybody something real quickly. And tell them one more time, Daily, how to raise their hands, because I don't know how to do that side at all.
Oh, you just tap on the screen and you look for the reactions button.
The reactions button. I want to show you all something and he told me I could show. I don't want to show their name, but I want to show you all. Well, if you guys, some of us have already seen this. Do you all see the screen? What do you all see on the screen now? This is from somebody's fake.
It's loading, right?
Do you all see numbers?
It's a PDF.
Yeah, like the guideline.
Looks like child support.
Like a guideline worksheet is what it looks like.
Okay, so you see the father makes more money than the mother, correct?
Mm-hmm.
You all can see that. Okay, I want to make sure.
Yep.
By about $1,500 more, something like that, roughly. Yeah.
So I'm gonna come off of that, and then I'm gonna show you all something else that came. This is
maybe more.
Yeah, this is somebody that came to me. I redacted. I don't know what the hell I did with the redacted version. He said he doesn't care. It's public record, but I just don't show people stuff that way. But I think this is the kind of result that most people want. There's a few people who have seen the entirety, because we've gone over some things to try to help more people out. Anybody, Daily, can you read where that first X is on the screen, if you all see what I think you should see?
Other child support arrangements. The parties agree that no child support shall be exchanged at this time.
Okay, and you've seen the entirety of the document, right?
Yep.
It's not my doing. This is not, what do you call that stuff, Photoshop?
Yeah, that's interesting, because that mediation, like, the judge let us know, like, hey, you're going to have another mediation. You need to file this document, financial, check stuff, but y'all can exchange it between each other. Y'all don't have to put it on the doc. Y'all don't have to file it if y'all don't want. If y'all come up with an arrangement, hey, we're going to end up splitting it, that's what y'all can do. If y'all don't want to put this on the record, y'all can agree to that. Like the judge literally just said to me 40 minutes ago when I got off the screen, that y'all, is best, the court tries to take a back seat and let you guys handle it. But when you can't handle it, that's when we get involved. Like, they want you to try to come to an agreement.
Right. So what I would say is, for most people, and I want to say that because the gentleman that spoke, he said intimidating, meaning most not wanting to fight for themselves, thinking they can fight like what he says I do. I make it look easy. Most won't do it as far as the work is concerned, which goes back to what you said, Dele. Most people don't want to do the work. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I just want to properly articulate the statements I made earlier, where it's like, I think the other gentleman, the Matrix, was saying, like, some people would rather not get involved and just pay for the service. And I think I was trying to make it clear that, look, I don't think that's the right approach in this situation, because the circumstances are so dire. Like, meaning, like, people have lost their lives from child support. Not only lost their lives, lost their livelihood, So it's not one of those things where, like, oh, you know what? I just want to sit. Like, in my mind, anything that could cost me that is priority in my mind. And I need to know every possible information and detail about that, So it's like, now, even if I have an attorney, if his brain is clicking, it better be in sync with what I know and what I'm trying to do. Right. And if I'm going to go do it myself, because I was in a hearing yesterday too. And the last time I was there, even the hearing officer was treating me differently. As far as like the way he was talking to me this time, he wasn't trying to be slick or dismissive or whatever. It was almost like we're having a decent conversation. Like, I actually even smiled in court, and during the hearing. But because I know what I expect from that hearing, And I know if it even goes 1 inch to the left, I know I'm gonna call him out right there, and I have repercussions for his ass. But that's because I've been going through this process to understand. Because I had a contempt hearing yesterday, they were trying to distract me, bring up all these other issues that had nothing to do with the actual reason why we were there. And normally before, I'd be screaming on top of my lungs, "Hey, what? No!" I'm like, "Look, that has nothing to do with this," and that was it.
Let me ask you this then. You've had a couple of consults and some other people in here as well. Do you think that the one-on-one time is beneficial in ways that is there something I convey in one-on-one time that I don't do here beyond some of the obvious, but I shouldn't say the obvious. Is there something that I convey within the one-on-one time that I could convey in these sessions that I probably don't do in these kind of sessions? Or just give them your opinion on what you think the benefit would be one versus the other, if you think that there is any difference.
I think the only benefit for a one-on-one consultant is the added details and facts of your case. Because when you speak in these forums, it's more in generality, like, okay, what is the issue? What is the rule? How does it apply to you? And how do you, fix that? But now in a one-on-one consultation, it's like, okay, look, this is the fact pattern. Boom, 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 boom. Here's the rules. Here's how we approach it. Because in that one-on-one now, we're now more or less talking strategy. And we're able to have, like, I'm talking again about you and I, we're able to talk strategy and approach. And we're not more or less slowed down by, okay, what does this mean? What does that mean? Blah, blah, blah. So to me, the one-on-one consultation is more beneficial when you've done some work to understand not only the lingo and then your fact patterns.
So it comes to the hood then, okay? This is where
but yeah, what I was also going to add on to that was that, yeah. Oh shit, I'm recalibrating right now too. Now I'm starting to use your words. Go ahead. I lost the transition.
No. I was just saying, as it relates to the hood, so to speak, what would you recommend that I could do to help? People say build up the hood, do this, do that, do the other. And is there anything that I don't give that I probably could give out here? Because I'm trying to figure out. One, I probably shouldn't be, and I know Harry just said I should just kind of let it go, worry about who's there. But I'm trying to get what it is that I may not be giving out that I'm not giving out. Because I don't withhold anything. That's not what I do. I just
Right.
got the information. So I'm just wondering. And you've already answered the question that the consultations one-on-one are naturally they're going to be more intense, and the identifying of the issues are going to be particularized to the individual who's having the conflict. Plus, we can find a better background about the individual's case, because then I'm looking at everything. I'm just trying to bring to you how I would, because all the consultation is, Greg, what would you do in this situation? Because not legal advice. Okay, this is what I would do. Why would I do it? Because of this reason. Why? What happens if that goes? Okay, I would do this because I understand this and this. Let's look at this. Let's look at how I got here.
Right.
And it's within those particular those instances within the one-on-ones, because I'm not looking at laying out a broad situation. It's like if I call a play in your alignment, what I'm talking to you about individually, you're not as worried about how the receivers run their routes or you may care about what the back, if there's a back in the backfield, what his protection pickup is. That may matter because and if you're an interior lineman, it may matter depending on where the action is, if there's a blitz, if there's a stunt, there's something else. And this is the same thing with the console. When I'm looking at just one thing and you're that one person you're one case we're looking at, we know exactly what we're trying to get accomplished. And I think we're going to get accomplished what we saw in that gentleman's paper, or when you see and somebody said something about my Dropbox link isn't showing when they hit the link. I hope I corrected it for him when I gave it to him. But I don't know, because I think I did this on another show too, but here's what the person should see when you go in, and you go into anybody, is to be, everybody should be able to see, oh, that's something different. Everybody should be able to see what somebody's done. And I try to get people as close to where I am or where I've been as I possibly can. And hold on, Chris, you wanted to say something? Chris.
Yeah, I just wanted to say when you said, what can I do for the hood? I hope don't nobody kill me for this, but it ain't nothing you can do for the hood, man. I had to realize that myself, me coming from the hood. You can't do nothing from them. It's a mindset, and they kind of stuck in a mindset, however it's going to be. And I got cousins that's kind of like that same way. They on child support. They say they share the same issues as me, but it seems like I'm the only one willing to go in that courtroom and fight and do something about it to make it better, to get the relief that I need for my situation. I tell them about you. I hook them up with you. I try to anyway, and I try to help them out with their cases, but they kind of just fall by the wayside. I stop hearing from them until something drastic happened to them. Like, oh, they took this much money from me. Can they do that? And it's like, what are they doing? Like, you got to get in front of a superior. You got to go in front of a superior court judge. Like, you can't keep dealing in the agency or the administrative department, because they can play with you any type of way that they want to, because they can make you sign some paperwork that you don't know that you're signing, and they can just do whatever. And, they got to be aware of the rights that they signing away when they do this stuff. So, honestly, I don't feel like it's nothing you can do, or anybody else that ran across your page and has a genuine interest into making a difference within their court proceeding. As far as everybody else, they just gotta come within their understanding of their own. Like my grandma, she used to tell me, when you get sick and tired of being sick and tired, you'll do something about it. You know what I'm saying? And right now, that's what situation they in. Until they want a difference, until they wanted some type of change, they're gonna have to fight for it. That's what I'm doing right now.
I'll say this, because I had to appreciate that, by the way. I had to get sick and tired of being sick and tired, because I didn't start off like this at all. And I was going to go into my, but y'all can get down the Dropbox. I remember when I had cases, and I would get sick when I got these letters in the mail. I get them and I go ball up on the bed or lay down on the floor. And it's just because I didn't think I had an answer. And one person said something to me, and it triggered the student in me. So I started looking for answers. And as I started looking for answers, and by the way, I started out first through the package boys too, or not like that, but through some of that package boy talk. And I eventually evolved, and over time I became much more prolific, because I would go in and work on my I got people coming in. Okay, hold on. I see you up at your hand. Everybody with their hand raised, I can actually see it. But I just had to go in and do the work. So I don't know any other way other than working. But I was so far down on the depth chart when I went to Tallahassee and I was playing semi-pro. And then I realized I should have just took my ass to college, because if I can be all pro and semi-pro, I could have played in college somewhere. I never doubted that. But that's when I realized I missed the game. But I knew when I was playing, and I played with guys that had played in the league, that played at the time of the USFL, that played in overseas, and that played major college ball. And I'm like, I was just raw, but I knew I wanted to play. So I had to put in the work. So I know what it's like to run stadiums, run hills, hit the weight room harder. And just to hopefully I'll get seen and maybe be able to get a tryout at a team somewhere, which I was lucky enough to get when I didn't make the team. But those things matter. And it's the same thing way I would tell you to approach this. If you want to win at this, you got to put in the work. And we got a couple of ball players that listen to the show or that I've dealt with. You can't be good at nothing that's professional if you don't put in the work. Jaheim, Brother Jami. You gotta unmute yourself. I don't know how to unmute you. I don't know. How do you unmute Dale again?
Tap the screen, hit the reaction button, raise your hand.
Tap the screen, hit the rat. Don't get frustrated.
No, I was trying to be as efficient as possible.
Tap the
My
you gotta
girlfriend
tap the
said the
screen,
same.
Jimmy. Tap the screen, Jimmy, and hit the reaction button. Because your hand is up. I can't bring you in. You have to bring in yourself. I don't know if he understands how to do that. Tap the screen. Jimmy, tap the screen, hit the reaction button. Let me ask you, text it.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, he's up. Yeah, we can't unmute him from here.
You can't just unmute him directly, though?
No, I can't. I can only ask him to unmute. Tap screen. This is what makes people. This makes the other guy come out. Tap the screen.
Don't be frustrated now.
So I'm always that. Let's see. Put this dude on the Zoom. I think. Okay. But yeah, when he figured out how to come, hey, I told him hit the reaction button. But again, you're just not going to get any progress without working people. I don't know of any other way. I could be wrong. Somebody else knows something better. If all these guys that have this information and it works, if it were me, I'd just say, just show me where it's ever worked. That's not difficult. Show me where that has ever worked. Show me when you've actually put yourself in harm's way. And if you can show me that, then that'll be something to follow. Because again, I've heard so much rhetoric from so many people, and I tell people, don't call me what somebody says they can do. I don't have time for it. And by the way, I don't doubt that these people may have great success. I just tend not to engage with a lot of that, because if it works, then that's where a person should be, especially if it's an easier path. I just show the only way that I know how, because I think that I try to find a way to streamline what goes on and I want to streamline it so that you can get to where I was able to get quicker. Your circumstances may make it more difficult along the way. But I can't help that. And the bigger part is I can't represent you. And I think that's probably the most important part of this entire thing. And while we wait for Jimmy to figure out how to hit the react, because I keep telling him to come in, and he's obviously somewhere where he can hear the voice. So all you have to do is hit this. There you go.
I'm here.
Now you can speak. What
It wasn't the mute. I was talking with a client. Pardon me. That's all. Peace, everyone. Yeah. So, like what everybody been saying, like the dialogue. Me and Greg been like brothers. Over 10 plus years. I've seen his growth to where he's at right now, and then I wasn't there when he first started, but I was somewhere after the start is when he and I connected. And I was on some of that other stuff that he said you want to set to the side. That's how I met, because he was on that platform. And actually, that platform that we met up on, that brother that was on the platform, I connected him and another brother, because that brother happened to be in my area speaking, and he knew someone down there. And we talked and then connected. And those things led to me getting onto the same platform that Greg was on. And I heard him speaking. And so one would say that they were teaching private things, and the things that Greg was sharing was public. Let's put it like that. That's what they would say. So that's why I heard him. And someone else said this is what caught me, because I was hooked. I was hooked in that. Like, and I know how you can get hooked to something where you're saying that this is what it is. And that's where I was at over there. Nobody could tell me nothing. I thought I had done found the answer, nail in the coffin. And I'm thankful because Greg, it became like Morpheus and Neo, the Matrix. And what did Morpheus tell Neo? He said, at his age, it was many of them in the incubators or whatever they had them hooked up, right? So they're not awake and they're dead. They're still asleep. He said, it's many of you at this age, normally we don't come and get you. Why? You're too far gone. Like the brother was saying, in his comment, that you can't help nobody save them in the hood. So, and when you look at it, a majority, most likely, when you look at the numbers and the percentage, you're not. But I think is all you can do is what you're doing is present it. But Morpheus told Neo that, but he believed he was the one. But Neo had to believe and know that he was the one. So all of us, in whatever our endeavors is, and what are we doing? Some of us have one occupation, some of us have multiple occupations, and we have different skill sets. Some of us come up in the hood, some of us didn't. Some of us military raised, some were not. So we come from different cities, states, and walks. But then what I'm seeing is many have the ability, no matter where you come from, to apply the things and the tools that's being given. So, but I understand it's kind of like training day. I'm sure that young officer didn't know that day was going to go with the veteran officer that he was with the way that it was going to go. And, the courtroom can be going and engaging in that place can be bumpy as well. But if you have a passion where, like I hear some of you have, where something has happened that's pushed you, and then no matter hell or high water come, you're going to confidently, for one, have an awareness to know that there's harm or some kind of unjustness has been done to you. When you know that stings and you figure out that makes you step to the other side and you're rooted and you're just planning in that. Now, every man got to carry his own cross anyways. So along the way, we just sharing our story, as Greg always kind of say that he does. He's just sharing. So if you catch some jewels that in what he's sharing and dropping, one water, I say this all the time, one planet, and whatever you believe in, give the increase, whether that's the Most High, creative source, whatever you want to call it. So somebody a waterer, somebody a planter, and some of us going to apply this information so that we can get the increase. Knowledge, wisdom, and application of it is where that understanding comes in at. So, but yeah, I just wanted to share my part and say to that, I don't think you can't determine who's going to wake up or not. It's up to us. They say for many are called, but few are chosen. You the one to decide whether you're chosen or not. Each one that's in existence. It's on us. So unfortunately, you're gonna have some people they want to blame. Somebody got to be the scapegoat, or they're not disciplined enough. They're not hungry enough. They don't want it enough. And certain things they do. They may come to this, they don't. And so it's easy to just say, "Oh, he had it made," or "He put in the work," so and so helped him. But like he said, he didn't have a Greg Doss or DJ Squid to do it for him. He had to put his hand to the plow for himself. And a situation that forced him to do that, which he could have just thrown down his hand. And I seen him swinging the whole way, and I seen his growth through this whole thing. It's been incredible. I've grown in it through this journey in my walk as well. So it's just how hungry we are, how bad you want it.
No doubt. Matrix, what's up? Matrix. Okay.
All right, I got you. Hey, I think you can say the hood. Well, this is just me talking. So, but hey, I got a different mindset. I think you can say the hood. I think you just have to do it one person at a time. Do you have the patience to do it? It's all about the person. Not everybody's going to do it. I mean, I don't believe that you throw the baby out with the bathwater. I just think you need to take the bathwater out. Some of these babies can be saved. But everybody don't have the same dreams and goals. I came from the hood. And if a nigga would have gave up on me, I would still be in there. I know that. So I definitely think you can be saved. But us as people, sometimes we got to be patient. But we don't have to hold everybody's hand either. I definitely ain't saying hold their hands. Because once you get to a certain age, hey, ain't no excuses.
I think one of the things I saw in there is when it comes to contributing to the growth, like I say, seed water increase. The seed could be there, but at some point there has to be water for the increase. Or of course, the Most High could do it all, but He says, "I'm gonna leave it. It's up to you with the free will." If the seeds are planted and they're thrown out, so you ravel them out there with the little spinning machine. The ground has been overturned already for us, and it's out there. At some point, because everything's all time is limited for us who are mortal. Our time is defined. It hadn't been defined by us as to when it's going to be over. But with this, I was so bothered by that text. I'm like, okay, everybody has this obligation, but there's nothing about the information that's being withheld. I had to go and search for it, and I said, hey, I can try to show you how I fish and where I fish. At this pond over here is where I was able to get a lot of my fish. So we can all go to this pond, and apparently these fish are always replenishing at a rate that no matter how much you eat, you can never get full. Because that's what information is. It's something that you can continue to ingest, and you can never get all of the information. And how full you get is dependent upon what your appetite is. And I had an appetite to get these people off my back. And I had an appetite to, I have a resistance in me anyway, probably as a part of my nature, but I don't have any problem at all following the law. And so what I try to hold people to is the law. That's it. And I'm here to help, but my time is valuable, at least to me. And at some point, people have to say, what is their situation worth to them? You go talk to an attorney, it's what, 300 to 1,000 plus an hour, depending on what kind of issue it is. I had a situation come up recently that I knew about. Somebody needed an attorney for a murder case. And the attorney that I knew about had a price, and other attorneys had a general price, but they wanted to go to somebody who was less expensive. And I said, okay, I understand that, respect. But there's certain things that you probably wouldn't want to play around with, and that would be like your brakes on your car, your tires on your car, or your freedom. And by the way, you can't buy time, but you can dance your purchase time by worrying about the price of your freedom. So that's just the same way I feel about some of this. Everybody's, can see that the results have been there. You just have to go about getting this, and it's going to be a process. You have to be willing to go through the process. I don't know of any magical paper, because if magical paper is all it took, all you would need is a Xerox machine. And I don't know of any paper that I could ever write for somebody that I could, and this is even if the attorney gave me this assignment. Hey, go write this up. I had to know the background of the case. Even as a paralegal, I had to know the background of the case. So how can otherwise I just be writing? I can't just pass that off to Dele or Matrix or any of the other guys, you guys on here, if I haven't spoken to you. And I'm not telling you that what to do. I'm just saying these are some things to consider. And candidly, I probably am pretty good at this right here, but it's only because of the work. But I can only train those who are here to be trained. I can't help those who don't want to be here. And I do have a lot of situations going on. In fact, I had to serve this lawsuit that I just filed. So if people really want the help, then step on here and grab it. You already out the courtroom, Chris? Aren't you about to go in?
No, I'm almost there. Yeah, I got to go in at 2 Eastern Standard Time, but I like to get there a little early. But I'm pulling in the parking lot right now because I like to sit down and watch, other people's cases and stuff. But what was I finna say? I did want to remind you too, because I didn't get a chance to call you personally about it. I do need your contact, your connection with the court reporter.
Oh, okay. And you all,
I didn't get that email.
Okay, I thought I sent that to you. Okay, I'll send it to you right now. And by the way, I always use Taisha Scott reporting, or you can use Richard Lee reporting, depending upon what the situation is. If Taisha can't take the case, but I'd always recommend you all reaching out to Taisha Scott reporting. And I'm trying to find out where I deal with her number. Her name is Miss Scott, and let me send this over to you.
Yeah, she can do a case in anywhere in the country.
As
or
long
just
in certain kinds of hearings, that's why you want to speak to her first.
okay?
Her contact number is 954-383-9455. I'm waiting for her to get herself together and send me. I might even do it for her, get her a dot card as a gift so she can be able to send this out and get her own little QR code. But I would never reporting a court hearing without having a court reporter with me. I won't do it because it may actually defeat your purpose because they're only going to be able to the appellate court only sees the transcripts. And by the way, if you're in Florida, 12 point, I think it's 921, whatever it is, when you do your motion to vacate, I'm drawing a blank because I'm doing several things. When you file your motion to vacate, one of the requirements is that you attach the transcripts to your motion to vacate. So if you don't have a court reporter, you don't have any transcripts, and if you're reporting, depending on where you are, your hearing isn't recorded, you're essentially filing a moot document or a void document because it has no weight if you don't follow the rule. Just keep that in mind. Jimmy, you're back. And there's an accident. Jimmy, let's do here. Jimmy, you got to unmute yourself. Tap the screen and hit the reaction button. Hopefully you got that, Chris. You get did you get it, Chris? Oh, he is clapping his hands. Okay. So, with that being the case, Jimmy, you had something to say, Jimmy?
Oh yeah, just thinking as you were talking, one of the main things I wanted to say is when I heard you on that show, didn't know you. I had a whole nother stance. What was powerful, and I heard someone else say that earlier, I forget who it was, is when it came across, it was the same thing when you was on that show. Cause I was already hook, line, and sinker on the other going the other direction. And I heard you in the courtroom getting things dismissed without an attorney and pro se. Speaking yourself. So someone said this, and that gave me hope and confidence that if this dude can do it, then it can be done. And that allowed me to sit down that other stuff. I sat that down and I started taking another path and going in another direction. And I know sometimes it ain't always easy, but so I'm thankful for that because, maybe had I not heard that, what would have came along to change my mindset from that other direction. And I've seen what happens to a lot of people going that way when you think that's the right way or that's the right path. A lie become the truth in that aspect, and it's really not. Or or you think you perceive it, assume it to be because it sounds good, or it's microwave, too good to sound true. But and then getting to know him, and I seen what he was putting in the work. So for me, that's what it was. That seeing that, and then getting in there also, getting in the game. The only way you're gonna get good is you put on the pads and get out there and start practicing to know what you're working with to get over those butterflies and that feeling. And then the consistency of going in there is what starts sharpening you and getting you to become better, because now you start understanding the back and forth, knowing what to say in the middle of the conversation. Your response, like being Counter Joe, your ability to, Counter Joe had that counter when you throw at him on that Mike Tyson punch out or whatever. So your ability to come back, and be strong in that. And that's what he kept going in. I kept getting stronger. And not doing as I wanted, good as I wanted to do. I heard the other brothers that say, "Oh, I get in here early and watch." I know Greg did a lot of that. Just go and sit. Looking at other people, you learn. Because when you're in a hot seat, you do learn, but it's a lot different if you go in there and you sit down one day and you just take time and it don't got nothing to do with you. That's a whole nother level of study and observation that you're going to get. And I think for most of us, it's putting in that time in. Because if you don't put nothing in it, you ain't gonna have nothing. You ain't gonna get nothing out of it. And I think that becomes the difference with a lot of us. And some of, no matter where you come from, because he has someone, a client, you say, well, I know if so and so can do it, then surely many of the rest of you can. And you know what I'm talking about. So just like, you know, the one that called me John Lee, like he like to mess up my name and say Jaheem and Jamil and all of that stuff. But I've seen different type of people go in, so I look at it and say, man, there really ain't no excuses to be able to apply it. And when you get the results, it gets stronger to depend on how hard we practice and we go in at it. You know, just wanted to say that.
All right, appreciate it. Hey, listen, folks. Hopefully everybody got something, because, you know, at the same time, it's all about accountability and personal accountability. And like I said, I would like to see people. I want to see everybody win, but at the same time, you know, I may not be the one to help everybody get across the finish line. I may just be here to run this level of the race. And by the way, happy birthday to the late great Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. This is his actual birth date, 1929, when he was born. So just something to think about. He'll be 95. But again, I just wanted to get to, you know, having a raw conversation about accountability, you know, unity, breaking cycles, and by the way, there's a place in the Bible, I don't know if he's still here, but it said that the workman is worthy of his hire. You're not supposed to bridle the oxen, right? And there's a unique sickness in the hood when it comes to supporting those who could possibly help you get where you want, and that's not for me to judge or base it. It just is what it is. And we know that when it comes to going into, whether it's Walmart to Kmart to any other mart, we don't haggle about what we want. But when it comes to supporting some of our own industries, we want to find a way to get by and to get over. That's something that needs to stop as well. But again, in hopes of building everybody up and supporting people, what have you, make sure if you have a court date, you reach out to Miss Scott. If you need her information, you know how to everybody here knows how to contact me. The number that you see on that website is my number. Okay, if you call that number, I'm going to answer. I'm not sophisticated enough to have staff to reroute you somewhere. I don't have that much going on, but I would like to see people win. And I'm going to tell you, you might want to start buckling up for some things to be a little bit more bumpy for the next couple of years for sure. And by the way, if you're in Florida, remain conscious of the halo rule. If you're filming police officers in the performance of their duties, you must be at least 25 feet from the actual contact area. And also, if you're in certain counties in Florida, the state attorneys are all seeking mandatory minimums for drug-related crimes. So Florida did not pass the I forget it was Amendment 3 or 4. I forget what it is, but they didn't pass the amendment to legalize marijuana. So just be careful what you do and be ready to be accountable for what you have done. So with that being said, anybody have any thoughts, questions, comments? Raise your hand before we get out of here, and I get back on my my cases. Going once, going twice. Okay, listen, people. Sometimes it's not about right or wrong. More importantly, it's about clarity. You'll never reach a resolution if you're not willing to engage in honest dialogue, even if that dialogue is with yourself. Take time to hug the person you love and love the person you hug. On behalf of G9 Attorney Pro Se Consultants, I'm Greg Doss. I'm DJ Squid. I'm saying peace. I'm saying chicken grease. Y'all take care. Enjoy Dr. King's day, and I'm out.
Hey, to whoever may need this nugget of encouragement, things will be alright, so quit your worrying. I get it, the odds seem stacked back against the wall, but even consider it such, know you'll stand tall. Sat and watch from the sidelines one too many times. Wicked games to play make me wanna lose my mind. Found solitude knowing it'll be over soon. Ever need a boost, count on me for the 1-2. Trouble don't last when the tough get going. Baby, all we do is win, so show me my opponent. Adversity, doubt, stress, could care less, cause how we handle those like an S on our